The onboarding process is one of the most essential parts of establishing a culture in your workplace. It sets the stage for how employees will work together and interact with each other, as well as their managers and company leaders. When done correctly, it can help new hires feel like part of the team from day one and increase their engagement. But if done poorly or not at all, this critical first step could leave employees feeling like outsiders who don't know how to fit in with their new colleagues or department. Hello and welcome to the L&D Academy. My name is Irina, and I'm a learning and development consultant transforming the way we approach L&D. In today's video, we'll explore how great onboarding leads to higher profits and employee satisfaction. We'll discuss the benefits of effective onboarding, and along the way, we'll also give some recommendations for L&D practitioners to ensure the success of your onboarding program. So let's dive in. First up, why is onboarding so important? When you think about it, onboarding is a pretty simple concept, getting new hires up to speed so they're able to hit the ground running. But when you consider that your organization's future success relies on the productivity of these new hires, it becomes clear that a proper onboarding program is critical to your success as an employer. Onboarding makes sure new employees have all the knowledge and resources they need to be productive as soon as possible. And this helps them feel like they're part of the team from day one. Onboarding is also important in helping employees feel engaged with their jobs because it helps them understand what their roles will entail, which in turn leads to a higher level of motivation and therefore engagement. Apart from these two, there's some additional benefits we'll explore, and these are reduced employee turnover, increased productivity, enhanced company reputation, streamlined communication and collaboration, faster time to competence, and a strengthened employer brand. So let's take a closer look at each of these 8 benefits. Benefit number 1, increased employee engagement. By definition, engaged employees are more invested in their work and the success of the organization. They feel connected to the company's goals and values and are motivated to contribute their best efforts. Here's some recommendations for what L&D practitioners can do. First, incorporate interactive and hands-on learning activities during the onboarding process. You can also facilitate as many opportunities as possible for new hires to connect with their colleagues and demonstrate how company values look in the real world. And finally, you can also regularly gather feedback from new employees and make sure to use it to enhance the onboarding experience overall. Benefit number 2, improved motivation. Motivated employees are more likely to show initiative, take on new challenges, and strive for continuous improvement. They're driven by a sense of purpose and a belief in their ability to make a positive impact. Here's what you can do. First, clearly communicate what the company's mission, vision, and values are during the entire onboarding process. You can use examples and stories to illustrate those. Then, set some clear expectations for the new hires' roles and provide them with meaningful goals and objectives. Finally, recognize and celebrate early achievements to reinforce a sense of accomplishment and belonging. Why not give them a badge, some reward points, or maybe even a company swag for achieving various milestones? Benefit number 3, reduced employee turnover. Turnover can be quite expensive. Just put together the hiring costs, training and onboarding, and costs for the unfulfilled role, and you may end up with a number 1.5 to 2 times the employee's original salary. When you lower employee turnover rates, this can lead to reduced recruitment and training costs, more experienced and knowledgeable teams, and stronger company culture. Here's some recommendations for L&D practitioners. First, implement a well-rounded onboarding program that addresses both company-wide and role-specific information. Next, provide ongoing support, feedback, and development opportunities for the new hires. You can also foster a welcoming and inclusive work environment that encourages open communication and feedback. You should also offer a flexible onboarding environment that is as close to their real working environment as possible. And finally, promote all career opportunities that are available to the employees. Benefit number 4, increase productivity. This is a big one. Productive employees efficiently contribute to the company's goals, resulting in higher profitability and growth. Here's what you can do about it. First and foremost, ensure that all new hires received thorough training on their job responsibilities, the tools, and any systems they'll use. This can be done by L&D, a dedicated trainer, the new hire's manager, or even just a buddy. Next, encourage collaboration and knowledge sharing among new hires and their team members. This can be done formally through some kind of a buddy system, or it can be a series of informal discussions with people across the organization. Finally, consider implementing performance tracking and goal-setting systems to help employees monitor their progress and stay focused. And again, remember to celebrate all of their successes. Benefit number 5, enhance company reputation. Publilius Sirius said, "A good reputation is more valuable than money." A positive company reputation attracts top talent, clients, and investors and fosters a competitive edge in the industry. Moreover, a positive word of mouth and online reviews from satisfied employees can really boost your company's reputation, making it more appealing to potential candidates, clients, and partners. Here's some recommendations what you can do as L&D. First, develop an onboarding program that reflects the company's culture and values. Make sure that everything you do presents the company in an authentic manner. Anything less, then it will show. Another thing you can do is to encourage new hires to be brand ambassadors by sharing their experiences on social media and through their own networking systems. You can also regularly gather feedback and testimonials from employees to highlight the strengths of the organization. Another thing, encourage a culture of open communication and transparency, allowing employees to voice their opinions and provide timely feedback. And finally, address any concerns or issues raised by employees in a timely and constructive manner. Benefit number 6, streamlined communication and collaboration. If you want your organization to thrive, it's essential to have clear and streamlined communication channels in place and ensure that everyone is collaborating effectively. By doing so, you'll be able to avoid misunderstandings, stay on the same page, and ultimately work more efficiently towards your shared goals. Effective communication and collaboration promote a more cohesive and efficient work environment, leading to reduced operational costs and increased revenue. Here are a few things you can do as the L&D practitioner in charge. First, introduce new hires to the company's communication and collaboration tools during the onboarding process. The sooner you do this, really, the better. And then consider organizing cross-functional projects or workshops to foster teamwork and understanding among different departments. Finally, offer some additional training on effective communication and collaboration skills. We can all learn to communicate more effectively, can't we? Benefit number 7, faster time to competence. Time to competence refers to how quickly a new employee can become fully productive in their role. Shorter time to competence translates to faster return on investment in employee training. What does this mean for L&D practitioners? Well, first, you need to implement a structured onboarding program with very clear learning objectives and timelines. You also need to provide new hires with access to resources and support systems such as mentors or coaches. And finally, continuously evaluate and refine the onboarding process based on feedback and performance metrics. Consider what can stay and what can go to really reduce the time to competence. Benefit number 8, strengthen employer brand. If you've never heard this term, don't worry. Employer brand simply refers to the way in which a company presents itself to job seekers, employees, and other stakeholders as an employer. A strong employer brand differentiates an organization from its competitors, making it more attractive to top talent and fostering a more competitive edge in the industry. Think of it this way. Imagine you're considering employment with 2 different companies. The first one has a great employer brand that offers excellent work-life balance, opportunities for growth, and even a strong sense of community. But in your research, you discovered that the second company struggles with high employee turnover, poor benefits, and a lack of communication from management. Obviously, the first company is likely to attract and retain you as a top talent, while the second will struggle to compete in the market due to its weak employer brand. Here's what this means for you as L&D in terms of onboarding. First, you need to understand what is the compelling employee value proposition. EVP is a set of unique offerings, benefits, and rewards that an employer promises to provide to its employees in exchange for their skills, abilities, and contribution to the organization. During the onboarding, you would communicate the EVP and highlight its benefits. If you're not sure what is the employee value proposition, you need to get yourself in front of your HR colleagues from talent acquisition and rewards and recognition and ask them some very important questions about it. Another thing you can do to strengthen the EB is to integrate the employer branding into all onboarding materials. That is, your presentations, videos, swag, or even brochures. You also want to encourage feedback and regularly assess and address employee satisfaction and engagement levels to ensure a positive employer brand image. Emphasize the company's commitment to employee development and growth by providing a good overview of all career paths available to all employees. Now that we've looked at the benefits, I want to spend some time talking a little bit about the role of L&D in the onboarding process. Different organizations may have different views on who owns the process. For some, that may be learning and development, while for others, it's an HR's responsibility. Either way, it is important that L&D plays a part in the design and maybe even delivery of the program, as they can really help elevate the learning experiences for the new starters. Here are just some of the things L&D can do to support the onboarding efforts. First, they can really help with designing an effective onboarding program by providing insights into things like adult learning principles, onboarding best practices, organizational culture, and employee needs. Another thing is that L&D can provide training content related to the tasks new employees need to complete during their first few days on the job. And finally, and this is really important, L&D can evaluate whether or not the onboarding program meets its goals. They can do that by setting onboarding goals and milestones, establishing success metrics, and then by designing and implementing surveys, among other things. If they discover that there are areas where the performance can be improved, L&D would be best suited to offer suggestions for how they might do so without diminishing any other parts of their workflows. The onboarding process is truly the foundation of a successful work culture. It shapes how employees interact, collaborate, and contribute to the organization's success by crafting an effective onboarding program. You can help new hires feel like part of the team from day one, boost engagement, and ultimately benefit your bottom line. Remember, the onboarding experience is really a critical first impression for new employees. It's essential to get it right to ensure they feel welcomed, supported, and empowered to make a positive impact in their new roles. By investing in a comprehensive and thoughtful onboarding program, you're setting your organization and your new employees up for a long-term success. How do you ensure the success of the onboarding process in your organization? Let us know in the comments down below. And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it and would like to see our channel grow, consider liking and subscribing to the L&D Academy. And we promise to keep bringing you more useful tips, tricks, and topics from the world of learning and development. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next one.